Hey folks, Scott Grove here, GroovyMusicLessons.com. Dr. Groovy here with my next set of relatively vintage guitars that are something you ought to try out before blowing your money on a new guitar. Again, yeah, a lot of people make decent guitars these days, being 2015 when this video was made, for cheap money, but just begging y'all to have a heart and go back and grab some of the axes, or try some of the axes anyway, I should say, that were groovy back when I was young. And then again, you can get like twice the guitar, or I'm sorry, about 10 times the guitar for half the money, I should say, if you go back and get a good old used one. People have been up in arms since the very first part of this video, which was part 1. This here is part 2 of many to come. First one was just Electra and West Tone, and yes, I blocked about 40 people off of that one, just griping because of all kinds of things. So again, if you are ever going to gripe about anything, no matter what it is, on my channel, you will be blocked, period. No, there is no open speech here. And sorry, that's just the way it is. I get to make the rules, because it's my page. So if you don't want to be scholarly and learned like I am, then too bad. Okay, again, yes, and as other people have asked, am I going to tell sometime along the line what all the shitty brands are to never even touch? Yeah, I'll give you some of those today, and then I'll bring them up later. I'll just give you a short smattering of them. But today, as you see by the title, hopefully I'm going over the Aria, which became Aria Pro and Aria Pro II. A couple of Takamine guitars, not many. These are staying mainly electric guitars. And then, of course, Washburn. And we're talking 70s and 80s, roughly. Okay? So that's basically where I'm going with all these. Is, like I said, my day. So I'll get to those. What you're looking at right now is an Arya Pro II, or Aria, if you're, depends on what area of the world you're from. And that there's a ZZ bass, so basically an Explorer. They made Electra made them, Takamine made them. Actually, they're all made by the exact same person. They're all identical to that. No difference whatsoever from company to company. Why? Because they're made by the exact same hands. No different than today. Real quick, just some of the, while you're looking at that, I'm not letting you look at me while I talk because I am just disgustingly looking today because it's no shower day. I'll just name some names of grotesque, horrible guitars that you should never touch for any reason. If you happen to like them, keep it to yourself and don't get blocked. Okay? If you love your old piece of crap, that's fine, but these are just telling other people because somebody today was going to go out and grab, the hell was it? It was a, I'm sure I wrote it down on here because it's a piece of junk. Let me find it. Did I write it down? Some Strat copy who was going to go buy, and then he asked me should he go get it. It's like, oh, don't you dare go get it. I don't even see it written on here. I might find it, but I doubt it. I don't see it, but yeah, it was some horrid, Memphis. That's what it was. It was an old Strat made by Memphis. Everything made by them, just horrible. There was not a decent axe put out by them. If you own one, hey, sorry for your luck. But if you own one out of a gazillion that might happen to be good, it's because you made it that way, not because they made it that way. Okay, my quick list, and then we'll go to the point of this. These are some obscure things. For most of you little kiddies, you've never heard of any of these. But for those who are more aged and might be looking at stuff, just avoid these, no matter who has played them or who's been famous that played them. And I'll tell you a couple other quick things that are just gems to know. Okay, the names that you should avoid at all cost: Duke, Jedson, Tulio, Kingston, Lyle, Echo, Global, all the airline guitars, Craftsman, Tiesco, National, Supro, Silvertone of back then. Some Silvertones today are actually pretty cool, if they're made where they're supposed to be made. Hagstrom, yes, Hagstrom. Magnetone, Alamo, Height, Kimberly, Zimgar, Got Univox, yes, Univox, horrible. Harmony, yes, horrible. Decca, Norma, that's two different places, Decca and Norma. And Kent, Goya, Vox, yes, Vox. Hofner, yes, Hofner. Framus, Dynacord, okay, those are some of them. GTX, that came along later in the 80s. It came and thing from Ovation and Applause, and what was the real cheap one? Was it a Matrix or something like that? Was their cheapest brand. But so many companies have these really, really shitty brands. A couple real quick. Epiphone puts out guitars. Okay, so they're not considering it Gibson, they're just calling it Epiphone. And Squier puts out brands, other names. That, you know, it's just these companies coming along, rolling in, taking over big companies that used to be good, and then tearing them up. One company that you'll see a lot of time in Musician's Friend magazine is Rogue, R-O-G-U-E. Okay, that's one of the Squier-owned companies. So it's cheaper than the cheapest Squier. So if you get Rogue guitars, it's just a company that Fender made up, that, and they're saying Rogue by Squier. I don't even think they say by Squier on them anymore, but that's who owns them and where they make them. That's whichever Squier factory is, wherever that particular year. So, you know, Squier has moved to like 5 different continents. Epiphone bought one, Gibson bought one of the biggest, coolest bass companies ever, which was Tobias. And now they're saying they're made by Epiphone. So you can go get great, you know, Tobias, the cheapest you used to be able to get a Tobias bass for was a couple, $4 or $5 grand. Now they got them for $199 brand new, but they say made by Epiphone. So watch out for that crap. And you're like, well, what about Epiphone? They used to be good. Some are still sometimes, but Gibson has not always owned Epiphone. So Epiphone has been in and out, and it's a hard one to call. There's certain time, usually when Epiphone was on their own is when they made the best guitars, not when they were owned by Gibson. So again, don't listen to me about what you should like or what you shouldn't like. I'm mainly here to try to tell you different things you should try, especially if you've never heard of them. So right here are the Aria Pro II, and so forth. Let's go through them. Okay, these were some of my favorites. I played these for a long, long time. That's an RS Night Warrior, K-N-I-G-H-T. I had quite a few of these in purple, burst, black, blah, 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 white. Kaler on there, so it was one of the very first years that Kaler was ever on a guitar. First time Kaler was on guitar was 1983, so if you own a guitar that has a Kaler on it, a lot of people have Gibsons up for sale on eBay from 1981 that says it comes with a stock Kaler. No, sorry. So if you read that crap, I mean, know your stuff. 1983, first time a Kaler ever appeared on any guitar. So these here are about 1985. Pull up on the, it was either the volume or tone, I can't remember. And it splits the humbucker. So 2 single coils humbucker, 22 frets, blah, blah, blah. Still great guitars. RS Night Warrior. At the same time, they had a whole bunch of guitars that looked just like that. We'll see them, I'm sure. They're called the Cat, and some other ones that are the same, and they all have coils splitting. There's no coil tapping. Just some amazing quality guitars. Again, there's the Night Warrior. That one I owned quite a few. I even owned those pants. Yes, of course I did. Again, these will look like everything on the last video. Why? Because dudes are like made right down the street from each other or in the same building, depending on what year it is. Okay? You're like, hey, that's that Howard Roberts guitar again. It's like everybody made a Howard Roberts guitar. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They were all the same, but they were of fabulous quality. Okay? Just a different name on the headstock. You're going to see more Explorers and more Flying V's and more everything. And it's before Gibson put theirs back out again. I'm just going to go up the page like I did before and see if I can find a place to click on my... This is just simply a Google image search. So you can do the same thing. I can't remember what I put in there. Probably just vintage. I think I put vintage Aria Pro guitars. Okay, So the Les Pauls here, there's no tricks. They never did anything as far as putting modules in the back like an Electra did, but they did do a lot of coil splitting, which Gibson, everybody hated it back when in the 70s, in the Norland years, again when the grooviest guy around. Hang on. I love this. Of course I love that. Isn't that great? Love it. Another Veritone switch, and probably a phase switch right there, or possibly a coil tap, which means they wind the pickup, about 10,000, 15,000 times. Then they put a lead right there and then hook it to that switch, and then they continue to wind the pickup so it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and that's what it will sound like on its normal time. But you flick the switch and it'll go to that place where they stopped in the middle at the 10 or 15,000 wraps and give you the tone of an under wrapped pickup. Be much brighter and less output, but that's what a tap is. That's why you don't see them on humbuckers very often. They would have to actually tap both coils, and it was a real pain, so you're not going to see them there. So anytime you see coil tap on a humbucker, it is probably wrong. It's probably a coil split, because it's a pain in the ass. I know you're like, well, if a computer did it, then it's still a pain in the ass, trust me. Again, they look like everything you've seen before, but some won't. These actually look like the G&Ls that would soon come. Some of these guitars, like these right here that actually have the name real small, and then again a bunch of writing on the headstock, and then their basses are the same. These are getting, $1,200–1,500 these days. You're like, I thought I was getting cheap stuff. Well, if you want a superior flipping axe, and we're talking like a Yamaha SG3000, amazing guitar. I've had those, they're great in the 2000s and blah blah blah. Then you're going to pay for them. Some of these don't cost you but $200. Of course they're going to go up after I make this video, because everything does. Again, the Night Warriors, K-N-I-G-H-T, amazing guitars. Get one while you can. Again, if you're not into the single coil humbucker thing, get the one called the Cat. Okay, same exact thing, just different pickup configurations. Okay, back to Howard Roberts. I can't remember what I was talking about before, but I may or may not think of it, and we'll find out. Okay, let's get on it. That's a cool guitar that you guys need to see, which I'll show you in a second, because you can pick them up for $99. Okay, again, that's called the ZZ. They make it for guitar too. And then there's the XX, which is the Flying V. Okay, so take a look. Again, Aria Pro. Some are just Aria. Some are Arya Pro II. Okay, this one right here. This is one you can get for 99 bucks. Fullerton model. F-U-L-L-E-R-T-O-N. George Fullerton's dad worked at Fender back in the late 40s, early 50s. George Fullerton's the one that went with Leo Fender to open up G and L. G for George and L for Leo. Okay, so think about that. This here's the Fullerton model. So you'll always see it it'll either have a humbucker or a single coil coming out of the pickup or the pick guard like that. But these are very cheaply made guitars, but they are amazing guitars. I would put this up against any Strat of any kind. Had a bunch of these. Why don't you still have them? I can't keep everything, kids, but I can teach you. So if you want to get a kid a great Strat, or a grown-up a great Strat, grab one of those. Just an alternative, if everybody's tired of looking like everybody else. It's just a superb thing. Everything I'm showing you, these are all high quality instruments. If something is of lower quality, I'll tell you, just like I just did. Again, everything here looks like old late 70s, early 80s Ibanez musician things. Again, they're all made basically in the same place. Martin D35 copy. You always tell the D35 because of the split thing back there on the back, kind of a V-shaped thing in the middle. That'll always give the D35 copy away. Here's the headstock with the Aria Pro thing at the top, and then the wording on there. That means it's going to cost you a fortune. If you can get anything with the headstock like that for real cheap, get it and resell it, or get it and keep it and know that you've got an amazing axe. Okay. Honestly, that headstock will tell you everything you need to know, even the basses with that on it. There's another one right there. That headstock tells you right away you've got a major awesome guitar, unless it's just screwed up. There's the XX. Some of these in a little bit will have the actual graphics on it, ZZ and XX. Okay, they're usually on the solid body color guitars, but great flying V's. Again, a lot of people made these exact same guitars because they are the exact same guitars with different decals on it for what company it is. Super Strats in the 80s, nice looking jazz boxes. Again, superb guitars. There's a humbucker version of the Fullerton. Okay, so if you like a humbucker in the bridge, still for 99 bucks on eBay you can get this until I put this video out then. There's another version of the Urchin. I can't remember exactly which one. I know it wasn't Electra. I threw that name out there because this is called the Urchin by one of these companies, and I honestly don't remember which. But that's what I always call it when I see it, no matter who makes it. Because again, it's made by the same people. So honestly, does it matter? Where is that thing? I just had it on my screen. Go down. Here's the roll I'm looking for. Sorry about that. Pretty right there. There's the headstock again. It's going to give you some money. And it could easily be this bass, because that thing is worth a fortune. These little Les Paul-esque looking guitars with a shitty Duncan in there. They don't come with Duncans, so they're not shitty to begin with. Somebody just put a shitty Duncan in. There's a double cut Les Paul. There's another high-end axe. Great stuff. Okay, again, Aria. Here comes something great. Everybody did, okay, there's a Kaler again. Everybody did a Steinberger copy. Why? Because Steinberger is one of the greatest guitars of all time ever. To have no headstock is the way to build guitars. The least amount of places where it can bind or anything, the better. So there's no binding on these type of guitars. It can't happen. So they're going to be the most stable tuning guitars you can find. A lot of them did small bodies and did slight variations. Washburn did the Bantam. Bantam was a different series that had all kinds of basses in it, but they did in the Bantam series, B-A-N-T-A-M, not Batman. Same letters, different arrangement. They had a Steinberger copy, which I'll show you in this video too. So here's basically the RS series again, like the Night Warrior, but just without a pickguard. Okay, same thing again, but with two humbuckers. There you're getting into, we'll see a lot of Washburns called the Wing series that look like this. Here's a Aria Pro Strat with covered pickups. Man, these are sleepers. These are guitars that are going to make somebody a lot of money if you just grab some of these and put them away. Okay, so get them while you can. Okay, going on up. I'll just stop at interesting things. Other things, you can do the exact same thing. Just do a search, a Google search. There's the XX again. I'm sorry, the ZZ in red. I'll try not to stop on as many of these as possible. But there's the bass again. Look at that. Nice. And you will see a 1975 or 74 Explorer a little bit. But then again, another company, of course all these companies put out Explorers and Flying V's that look like the Carina. I did order a Carina guitar a couple days ago. I bought one, but it's from Reverend. It's the Ron Ashton Flying V with the 3 P90s in it. There's an RS Night Explorer from about 1985. So I can't wait to get that guitar in. And it's made out of 100% even the neck, just not the fretboard, but it's 100% of the, whatever I said it was, Carina wood. 3-piece Carina neck, 100% Carina body, blah, blah, blah. Lotus guitars. Some kind of, they suck. They're right there with Memphis and all that, so Lotus, another shitty brand. So stay away from those two. Brass on the back always indicates quality back then. The big companies back then that were charging huge money that people would do copies of, especially these companies, were Alembic and Moonstone. So if you find Alembic or Moonstone for any good price, grab it. Don't matter what it is, Alembic's still in business. Moonstone may or may not be, but here's a guy, some nice, you know, of course, 80s finishes there with the zebra stripe and the little urchin model thing or whatever it's actually really called with these guys. And I will continue to try to get through these as fast as I can, because you guys, like I said, can do the same thing and poke around and look at these. But again, I'm going to mention weird things now and then. One pickup only gives you one sound. Remember that, people. You better love that sound if you get a guitar with only one pickup. Like that. One pickup. There's another George Fullerton model. What did he have to do with Aria Pro? Nothing. They just did one for him, or to praise him, or as a looky there. That's flipping great. Look at all those switches. And they actually do real functions. That's a real guitar right there. Little switches again for fun stuff. There's another Night Warrior. There's another guitar I would be interested in, except for if it didn't have 24 frets. So, all the typical stuff, just like the last set. There's non-blade pickups. The RS Night Warriors had blade pickups in it. I actually kept those pickups from a few guitars. I put them in all my other guitars to follow for many years. I took them out of old Jackson guitar. I took my pickups out of Jackson's and put those pickups in it. Here they are with a different Aria pickup, kind of like these. But some people don't like blade pickups. They're actually a better design, but it's whatever you're into. Pull pieces aren't groovy actually, but whatever works for you. There's that little copy again. A couple more. Keep on squeezing through. A few brands to get through today. Okay. Da-da-da. There you go. You can almost see what it's called. I can't see what it's called because I am blind. There's a Rhodes looking thing. And everybody out there who spells Rhodes, you know, for a Randy Rhodes looking body, please learn to spell the poor guy's name right. It is misspelled so many times all over eBay, and I go on and then I tell them how it's spelled, and they yell, "Fuck you," back to me, and it's great, but, you know, I'm trying to help them sell their guitars, but learn how to spell the poor guy's name. It's like everybody with Squire again. It's on the headstock. Learn to just read it and copy it. And okay, great bass. Middle of the line thing. There's actually a P bass copy, so you're going back to about 74 right there. Okay, here's where you get these I love. And again, it's no different. It's just the ZZ with the half black and half white thing. And when they do the some of these, people will start putting the Scorpions references to it, even though they never did the Aria Pro thing. Here's another crappy Lotus guitar. Don't buy it. Double neck Arya Pro. Yeah, Lotus again, about like Memphis, just crappy Axis. Nice Les Paul copies. Are they as good as Les Paul? Yes, of course. And better than most, especially made today. And no finish on, I mean, it's got a finish, but no, there's their Stratocaster. It almost says that on there. Can't remember what it says. If it says, it's pretty close to Stratocaster. The nice looking diamond inlay, but not quite as close as what Electra did. They had it dead on nails. There's that. Don't confuse that, the Cardinal series, for the other ones that are really expensive with the writing up on there. Okay, other stuff. Again, great looking. I love these. Even though it's the same as so many guitars. I just love the finish right there. It's just classy for me. If you have to have a pointy guitar, you got to do something else to bring some kind of class to it. But I've always loved pointy guitars, but they never sounded good because I'm just a Strat guy. Sorry. I should not apologize for that. But again, these basses, very expensive. That's just the way they're going to be because it's already been found out that those are amazing. The cheap Strat copies, check on some, but again, the Fullerton ones are the best of the newer day Strat copies. Of course, this is a lot newer, so play it before you buy it. Yes, they're still in business, still making stuff. So we're looking at acoustic. There's that double neck again. Major high-end stuff going on here, folks. Single pickup bass, better love the way it sounds. JS series, pass by it. It's by Aria Pro, but pass by it. Okay, that's like Epiphone by Gibson, pass by it. Okay, so it's these little things, even though you can look them up too, you're not going to get information like that, so pass by the JS series. Okay, here comes the Scorpion related stuff. Okay, another great looking RS series. Here comes your Scorpions thing. So on an actual Flying V and not their XX model. Okay, so it looks right. Looks just like the Gibson stuff and just as good, if not better. They just took their time making these things, and they had something to prove, and they proved it. That's the thing is, no, Gibson wasn't hungry, but these guys were. So they knew they had a slot and time when America was really screwing up on their guitars, and these companies came in and just obliterated us. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's great guitars for you and me. Who cares? RS Night Warrior again, coil split on the bridge. Kaler. There's a good looking diamond inlay. Open book headstock, so that would be a lawsuit. That's the only thing Gibson had against any of these people. Not about the shapes ever from anybody. Ibanez or anybody else. People keep talking about lawsuit stuff. It was only about the headstock on the Les Paul. It was not about anything else. It was not about the Explorers or the Flying V's or any other thing. It was just about the headstock shape on the Les Paul. Not that they were designing guitars that looked exactly like them otherwise. They didn't care. And the lawsuit never took place. It just got settled out of court, and there it was. So anything you've heard beyond that is pure bullshit. So if you think you have some kind of lawsuit guitars, no you don't. Unless you have an Ibanez with that headstock shape, with the Gibson Les Paul original headstock shape, because they didn't sue anybody else. And again, it never made it to court, so shut up. Okay, so Shanker. Now the Arias are great. They made some great acoustics too, so don't be afraid to try them. The better ones are going to end up being, well, I can't say better. You're going to find Alvarez later, but look for the Alvarez makes some great electric guitars, especially their extended cutaway things, which are I'll have to show those to you. They're so amazing. You'll get to them. But Arya, when they hooked up, Alvarez, when they hooked up with Yari, Y-A-R-I, that's when the money really went up, and you had superior guitars. Let's see, anything down here? Just very expensive guitars right there. You got like a lead one looking thing here from Fender. There's some old jazz boxes. And nothing you haven't seen. Another RS series, which are always good guitars, but don't pay more than $300 for an RS series guitar of any kind. Again, those were about 85 when they came out, 1985. Okay, we're going to see a headstock of the Explorer looking thing, the ZZ headstock. Nice. I don't know if you could tell it again because it's on TV, but a lot of metal flake in there, or sparkles, or whatever. Somebody overwrapped, did the bridge, but they went over the top of it. Retarded. But, especially on Les Pauls and so forth, all you gotta do is raise up the tailpiece. That's what those things are for. Here's the XX headstock for the Flying V. Again, the ZZ for the Explorer, and the XX for the Flying V. Okay, another RS, the Urchin, or whatever the hell their models could be called. Okay, here's some Thunderbird. Again, Firebird for guitars, Thunderbird for bass. Something different, everything's the same. Nice quality axe right there. Les Paul custom looking thing, as you can tell. Okay, there's the ZZ that we keep seeing in all different formats. Nice bass there. Again, the headstock's going to give it away that it's the high priced one. Another RS, it could be the cat, or they even had a stray cat that they didn't somehow get sued for. But again, in the $300 range, don't pay more unless it goes up because of my reviews. And yes, I get, wow, Scott, you're pretty flipping positive of yourself that everything's going to go up just because you say it's going to. Well, dudes, everything has. For anybody who's on here that, it's not that I don't think my shit don't stink, but every single time I say something's going to go up, it has. I haven't missed one yet. And people are telling me to quit posting these things because they want to get them. But then again, if I don't post them, you don't know what the hell they are. So, get them now. There's a perfect example of the Fullerton with the humbucker. Again, the pickup will be sticking off of the pickguard, the bridge pickup. Now the 4001, identical to the Electra. Okay, here's you're going to find more Maxon pickup right there. Even though it's an Aria Pro, exactly the same as the Electra, except for you see no other MPC type stuff. Here's some nice P90s, and they're sticking straight to most of the typical great design that we know. They'll change the shape of the body right about. There's a ZZ, you can see it on the body, and a nice lightning bolt in red. Hard to see here, you'll see it better later. Here's the Arya Pro, the way it finally ends up. I see a Carvin pickup, I see 22 pickup in the bridge. Spot that a mile away. Yeah, old school Carvin, they still make those though. Lefties for you guys. Here's another ZZ. You can see the graphics better. ZZ, and then it's actually a lightning bolt going through the guitar. I'll show you some better looking ones later. Okay, there's a hummingbird, and lots of acoustic instruments because Gibson wasn't making them, and they came in. That cost you a fortune right there. Again, headstock gives it away. See what we got up here. Fullerton. Have the black one. Superb. Nothing there is really what it is. That's theirs. Can't tell what that is. That's that picture again. Straight Les Paul. Single pickup. More RS series stuff. Another single pickup bass. Looks nice. Pickups right about where a P bass would be, and it has this type pickup configuration where here you have two sets of P bass things but all in one housing. They didn't split the pickups like on a P bass. Hockey stick headstock. Another blade pickups on the ZZ. Blade pickups mean you pick up everything. If you have pull pieces, you get dead spots in between them when you're bending strings. Enough to notice to some people's ears, yes. And is that enough to tell you something? Yes. Again, my favorite pickups, the lace sensors, are totally different than any other pickup ever made. So it makes a huge difference to me. And I never have to worry about weird little pull pieces or weird things getting in the way that don't sound right, because they don't even have such things. They don't have pull pieces. They don't pick up the same way. They don't pick up from underneath, so you're not going to get any noise from the springs in the back of your guitar on your vibrato. Here's the graphics from the others, from the ZZ and XX, but they just put it on that guitar. It's just subtle, but it's 80s. And nothing wrong with 80s. Not a thing. Yep, I missed wearing the guy liner, and you couldn't tell when the guys were guys and girls were girls back then, but hey, we were pretty. Again, expensive just because of that. Okay. Interesting guitar right there. 3 P90s. Good stuff. Ahead of their time. Fretless. Nice. Not a really extremely weird headstock, and they do some modulus stuff also, graphite. You're going to love this. Or you won't. Look at the headstock. Isn't that great instead of Les Paul? Just great stuff, man, how they got away with it. Perfect copies, like they all did. And like when I say perfect copies, I mean perfect or better. Why? Because they had to. If they wanted to sell guitars, they sold guitars. Look at that. Beautiful. I'd love to have that. Yeah, if I see one, I may or may not pick it up. Again, perfect Les Paul headstock custom. More so than that one. There's actually better than the some of the examples we saw from Electra, because they actually got the lines closer in the center of the diamond. Perfect Strat copy. Here's a weird diamond. See that? They did that on a few. Some cavities. No, not dental needing cavities. What's this mean? Big money. More jazz boxes, $3.45. Look at things, big old things. Again, as good of acoustic, and I love the fact that everybody was doing maple fingerboards. Ibanez did it a whole lot with the Concords. Here's your Peter Frampton-esque. Again, Peter Frampton's guitar, Ace Frehley's guitars, everything in the 70s, again, were made of plywood, meaning mahogany and balsa wood. Yes, this is Aria Pro, making a better BC Rich than BC Rich. BC Rich doesn't make good guitars these days. They haven't since Bernie Rico died. Bernie Rico? Yeah, that's Mr. BC himself, BC Rich. Rich being Rico. They just needed something that looked cooler for the headstock instead of Hispanic, because people weren't allowing Hispanic stuff much back then, so they made it Rich instead of Rico. Same way they did with Richie Valens, which was Ricardo Valenzuela. Said, we're going to change your name, we can't have that on there. RS Series again. There you go. Look at that. That should say everything right there. Yes. And money again. Remember the money shot. And it probably goes right to there. Again, if you see that headstock and you find something with no major issues and you get it at a good price, just get it. You can write to me later and say, look what I got, and I'll tell you how much to sell it for. Or just put it on eBay and at twice what you paid for it and let it roll, because it'll get 10 times what you paid for it more than likely. There are certain people who collect all the Aria Pro or anything else that I'm showing you and nothing but. They're just going to never stop until they get every single one. Why? Because everybody loves different things. It's just the way it is. And that's fine. You guys don't have to like what I like and vice versa. But I am here to show you which ones are worthy of getting. Those are great. Again, that's what Arya Pro settled on, was that style of Les Paul-ish thing, and they never went back to a Les Paul. Okay, that's actually Fender there. There's a ZZ. There's a definite neck through. People were saying there's not a neck through. There's a set neck on my last video. It's like, dudes, just shut the hell up. There's a great. Been looking at that lately. The PRS. I'm not PRS. Sorry, Parker. That's an offshore brand, but that's the P30. Great guitars, but again, they did the same stupid thing, and they're gone, as PRS did with the SEEG. They only offered them in red, white, or blue. But fabulous flipping guitar, 3 single coils, but that Parker feel, man. Superb guitars, but these companies just keep hanging themselves. How you like the headstock? I like it. It's just good stuff. Sarzo, who did he not get an endorsement with? We'll show you his Washburns too, which I liked. I should have got the one last week, but it only went for like 300 bucks. His Washburn bass with the Japanese sun, but in black and white, which is the only color he offered. But it is, well, no, he did offer another color, the red. But great basses. He had a PV bass also that was a signature bass that was awesome. So go ahead and spend the money on that one too. All the Sarzo basses were very fine basses. I don't know why anybody gives Sarzo shit about being a bass player, because he's always been solid in every gig he's done. Yeah, he's a hair tosser and a poser, but it's called showmanship, kids. They're like, well, he didn't know when to stop. Well, so what? Here's some graphics on the XX. Somebody who, people always losing their back cover, or always like adjusting it so much that they lose it. Yes, that is not, this here is an Aria Pro. I can't get it on here, I don't know if enough, with it being on the TV, but it's an Arya Pro. That is not an R back there on the tailpiece. So these are, I'll let you know when it's a different brand that goes by. Lefty, Arya Pro, for sure. Everything is, unless I tell you. I got about twice as much to go through still, and I'm going to go through them. Let me decide on what should and shouldn't be touched. There's got a couple I need to see. This one, looking svelte, and it's pure whiteness with some little sparkles in it, and the Floyd finally. Okay, so we got that going on. We're looking at your cowboy guitars here, kind of your Gretsch looking thing. So for you guys that like those things, I don't, but that's okay. People are like, how come you haven't done Gretsch stuff? Like, I don't like them. They're like, well, you can still review them. It's like, I played them a couple times and hated every one, so I didn't do it. Same with Guild. Just haven't played one that did anything for me, so I just stay away from them. Same as the Jaguar and the Mustangs and the other weird little off-color or off-center bodies. Yeah, stay away from that too. Anything that's got weird other brands that lead you to believe that it's going to be Epiphone-ish, stay away from it. When they start getting another off type series, just stay away from it. If it says Aria Pro and that's, you know, Arya Pro II and that's it, you're fine. But if it starts to go into some really weird series, the RS is very typical, but when you see something very odd, now that kicks ass. Love that. Then you'll be alright. There you go. There's a lot of those put out. Again, we're back to people putting stickers on. Never fond of that. Base version of this that you can always have. There's some kind of country gentleman looking thing. 80s variations again. Nice looking bass. Very expensive bass. One hit wonder bass. Again, it's kind of like a P bass. If you like a P bass, you like a P bass, and that's it. Then all the more power to you. If you find what you like, that's better than most of us did. Okay? So I can't fault all you guys for what you like. Everybody likes something different, and the way they approach that instrument is different than the way I approach it. Therefore, they get a different sound out of it altogether, in which I'd be blown away for anybody to get a decent sound out of that thing. But somebody would come right along and do it. So here we're looking at the black and white V, but it's only showing us the headstock for right now. Even though it was XX, should have been VV, I know. But Gibson was very protective of their V. See, there's an exact P-bass headstock. They didn't give a rat's ass. Arya Pro II, nice looking 5-string. There's a ZZ again. More of the same, single pickup, 80s stuff. Let me see if there's some stuff I can skip for you, so it doesn't take all day. There's a few lines I can skip. Nothing new there. There's something going on right there. I'll just go to the one guitar and see what it is, which is this one. Seems like there's a lot going on there. Looks like I see somebody crammed some kind of select pickup. Never use select pickups from EMG. Worst pickups ever made. One of the worst. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, good stuff right there. Now it looks like the real deal, whereas the Explorer from the, well, one of the Explorers, the only one I showed you anyway from Electra, had the MPC stuff going, so it had 4 knobs, 2 switches, and then a 6-way, switch, roto switch on the pick guard. But this one's perfect. Just like everybody thought Ace Frehley and Paul were playing Gibson Explorers back in the days. They were the Ibanez Destroyers. And then finally Gibson came along and said, hey, we put them back out again finally, since everybody else was making them. So Gibson gave them one, and they put the Ibanez away, but it's still in a collection. One of them still owns it. I'm sure it's Paul, because Ace has sold pretty much everything he owns. Boy, can't keep any money. Sweet looking. I don't know what it plays like or sounds like, but again, that's closer to the shape. You see how the body at the top of the Les Paul thing, at the very top part, kind of scoops in. That's what they stuck with. I'll show you a better one again in a second. Okay, here comes the 4001 bass recreation in a second, which is right there. Looks sweet. Nice headstock here. Looks groovy. There's a really beat up version of the bass on that one, of the ZZ. But they did a lot of copies of everything that Alembic were doing. So lots of brass was used, and they did a lot of exact copies of Alembic guitars. Again, here you go. Maple, 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 and maple. Here is a Floyd version of the RS series guitars, the Night Warriors. Nice look there. Again, a slight variation. Check out the diamond. They still have the open book thing, which again was the only thing that Ibanez was being sued for, was the headstock shape at the very top, and that's it. Anybody else, again, doing advertising they have a lawsuit era guitar? No, you don't. Not unless it is an Ibanez and it is that headstock shape. Anything else is bullshit. You're just trying to say it's worth more because it happened around the same time. But no, there was only one issue Gibson was pissed off about, and it was the headstock shape of the very tip of the Les Paul. Nothing else. They went after nothing. These, again, worth a fortune. Another RS with 2 humbuckers. Again, mid-80s. Anything down here, people's own graphics put on. But again, these are all superior guitars. This might be an Alembic copy. Well, I'll go back and check it. And don't sway away from Aria guitars, because they are amazing. Some more Rickenbacker looking stuff. I'm actually going to skip up ahead while you guys are waiting there. Here's a great neck I want to show you. Or a, it looks like a bolt-on, where they could have easily done something else, but it is what it is. Check that. And again, as I know it's on the TV, but could have easily been a wild looking neck joint, but they went ahead and threw a neck plate on it and bolted it on there. Okay. Let's see, that's the infamous, well regarded. Again, that's the headstock, kid, so if you find that guitar, get it. Okay, again, you're looking at just click that switch and you got single coils. Coil splits, not coil tapping. A good look at the 4001, not the 4003 copy. Breaker 19. There we got another Fullerton, the black one. Nice, probably neck through there. Nice looking Oh, I got a 5-string bass or a 6. Looks like a 6. Maybe it's just a guitar. Okay, there's the infamous headstock again. And yes, that's important because that headstock is the one you got to look for. If you see that headstock, it's always going to be an RS series. What RS stands for, I don't know. I don't know, you guys would say, yeah, really shitty. Don't rain on my parade, people. I'm just trying to teach you. I give away all of my life to you people for free. And I enjoy doing it. And so many of you shit on me for no good reason, but hey, I realize that 90% of the world is totally worthless people on here, but for those good folks out there, God love you, or me love you, or whatever, just keep being you. Look here. Bam! Perfect. Okay, but you notice the output jack. Okay, it's down that way. It's better than being way down at the bottom of the horn like Gibson did on some of theirs, but it needs to be on the other wing, the top wing, so it doesn't stretch all the way across your guitar, but very much like the Rocket Roll Senior by Ibanez. Anything on it? Oh, here's a great version. Again, it's on TV, so you may not be able to check it out, but that's the headstock you're looking for, kids. Just keep looking for that thing if you're looking to buy and resell. Okay, again, if you can find that on Craigslist and you have the money just laying around and you see that but don't want it, just put it up for sale on eBay. People will pay you fortunes and fortunes. Explorer again. Perfect P-Bass headstock. Look, instead of precision, what's there say? Looks like it says precise. It's a precise. Okay, and Fender never got mad over that. Another Aria Pro II headstock. Great stuff. Yeah, that's their own designs. Again, a Cardinal series. So stay away from that crap. Let me see if there's anything else worth looking at for the Aria. We're almost at the bottom. Just some more great headstocks. Yep, there is. You've probably already seen them. But, great headstock again. Just don't let that headstock leave your brain. All the writing in the middle, then up there, 3 and 3. All the writing in the middle. It doesn't say somewhat other series. There you go, right there. If you ever see that, get it. I saw one not too long ago. Should have got it. Maple with the inlays and then coated over. Nice looking stuff going on here. And what else did I see? Oh, another variation of the V, you know, the 67 type thing. When Gibson brought back the V for a year or so, until every other company in the world started making tons of money off the Flying Vs, except for Gibson. And they didn't want no part of that, so yeah, it was all these other companies that forced Gibson to go back making their Explorers and Flying Vs and Moderns and so forth again, because everybody else was making them. Anything here actually worth... Now, don't go back in the 60s and grab any of this stuff. The Ibanez crap from the 60s was total garbage. This stuff was garbage. Everything in the 60s made by these people was garbage. So again, early 70s, not 70, but like 72 through about 85. Okay, then you'll get a couple things nowadays that you can just go try, because I haven't tried them. Why? Because they're new and I just don't give a shit. Somebody asked me, are you going to do all the new guitars? Hell no. I just don't try them out unless they make sense on paper. It's very easy to find out what's going to be great. Can somebody say Hetfield? Arya Pro, the Flying V from this time, from 1984. Arya Pro made one. There's one in eBay right now for $7,500, because that's what James Hetfield played on the first album. Was one of these, you know. It wasn't a Gibson Flying V. It wasn't, you know, Gibson Explorers. It was these other companies. And that thing is beat to shit, and the paint's running off of it. Somebody spray painted it with a rattle can, and it's still selling. It was being advertised for that much, because it's got to buy it now. So I can't say that's selling for that much. That says Aria, or Arya. It does not say Pro or Pro II. So that's back with your maple fingerboard acoustics. Look at the axe, kids. Again, every bit as good because it is the same as the Grecos, the Ibanez, the Electras, the everything else. It's the same flipping guitar. So decide what brand you like, I guess, and get one, but they're going to be identical. Hey, I found my stuff right before the end. This is the end of the Arya Pro. There's Pro II. I found what I was looking for. Again, good looking ES series looking stuff. And I was looking for the actual graphics on the XX and the ZZ. I found one on the ZZ on the last thing. Again, right there, just typical 85, 86, 87 Super Strat. But bass players, there you go, copying exactly after the Gibson Ibanez Destroyer X series. Okay, so they started going kind of star-shaped and Van Halen type shaped. But there you go. Good shot of what the graphics should look like on those guitars. Okay, so now while you're just sitting here, I'm going to scroll way ahead and show you the pictures of just a couple of Takamine electrics that were great. Of course, you've seen my Flying V or Flying A acoustic guitars by Takamine, the EA 360. Okay, here are a few Takamines, and there are more here than you're going to think. That's a Takamine. Great guitar. There's your Floyd. Okay, right here. That's the Whatever 100. It's exactly the same as the ZZ we just saw and the ones that the Electra did and everybody else. There is no difference. It is just strictly in what name they put on the headstock. There's a something 200, there's a 100, there's a 300. There's this thing. They only made a couple, maybe 5, 6 electric guitars. Look at this crappy thing. Here's when you're getting back to when everything sucked. So that sucks. Okay? Again, it's just back in the day. I had this one here. Bang. And I had the pure white one, which I really liked. What's the difference? The color. So you got that. Again, they are 100, the 200, the 300, and then other than that, the piece of shit. These days, Takamine putting out acoustic guitars. Avoid the G series. If it says something G in the serial number. Okay, here's the other Takamine right there. That one. Okay, this is actually one. Stay away from it. Again, if it looks like a piece of shit, it is. Oh, the purple one. I had that one too. If you look back at my old videos, you'll see all these. That one is shown on my Learn How to Play Beginner's Electric Lead Guitar, or Electric Guitar for the Beginners, or whatever. I'm playing that guitar. Exactly. That's purple as all hell. Beautiful X. Here's a couple more. Let's see. Typical looking things. So there's, like I said, 6 or so of these that came around. Let me look for a couple more things. But again, oh yeah, this one nobody hardly ever sees. Right there. Okay? Yes, that's Takamine. If you can find that, hold on to it and call me. If you see this, run. That's like every piece of crap I described to you at the beginning of the video. All those names, they all look like that. They are not good guitars. There's no reason to keep a hold of them just because they're old. Doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean you should keep it. I'm just scrolling, seeing if there's anything else you need to see. Hoping I find a white looking Explorer here of theirs. That's not theirs. So many here that aren't even their guitars. So I know which are which, and I'm saving you from them. I've got a cool thing I'm getting ready to do with eBay to shock you all. Probably not shock you, but to kind of bust them. I'm mad at them at the moment for something they did, and I'm going to let them know they're being recorded and see if they just hang up on me, but I was on the phone with them for 5 hours today, and they just continued to piss me off and piss me off and piss me off. But let's see, there's nothing else that's even showing up Takamine here. There's a whole bunch more, that really wild shaped one, but they're not going to be on here. Okay, so that's it for the Takamine. I knew it wouldn't take us long to get through all those. So I'm going to go on up to the Washburns, and these are going to be fun. And you don't know how cool some of these are. Okay, Washburn. Let's find Washburn. Okay, there you go. The Wing series. Amazing. Holy crap. Everything again, push-pull or push-push. Grab what you can. There are certain ones to avoid. I'll show you what they are. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you're going to have these. They still make some really great stuff today. I know my lovely friends from England did some Washburn crap, and they really butchered it. So don't listen to them about Washburn. There's been a lot more great Washburns made than anything else they have in stock. Of course, that one. That's a more, I won't say modern one, but that's about one of the best ones you're ever going to find. Those bozos say that nobody important ever played a Washburn. Okay, anyway, the Stage series, which will be indicated by A. Okay, they did do a reissue on these where they totally screwed them up. So look for the old little Washburn emblem like this. If it's an A10, it has 2 humbuckers. If they did the reissue, it has a great big Washburn logo, which is more like the Nuno. Big old script Washburn like that. Don't get those. They're horrible. There's an A5, A10, A15, A20, and if there's a V after it, that means it has a vibrato on it, which means a whammy bar. Is vibrato the same as a whammy or as tremolo? No, they are different things, but they call them the same thing, and people were bitching about me today about it, and sorry, but here's an ABBA guitar. Just a Wing series, probably something from the band, because who else would put all that money into that amazing binding? You see the white inside the 2 volume knobs? Those actually say push, pull, or pull, push, and it's in such great condition that they've never taken those decals off. This here is a reissue, because never in the original Stage series did they ever make one with 2 single coils and a humbucker. There was the A15, had the 3 single coils, but nothing that ever had that configuration. So there was one that had a tele configuration. See how that one has a tele plate? Somebody took out the 2 single coils, which is what it originally came with. They will always have brass saddles, always, on the originals. And this person put some, I don't know what kind of pickups in there. Okay, so these Wing series guitars, these are going to cost you a couple grand. But there are plenty to have for nothing. These little Explorer looking things, the Stage series, can be had fairly cheap. And I love them, but you have to love the necks. The necks are extreme V-shaped necks. I mean, it feels almost like the corner of a house that you're holding onto. It is that much of a V. So you have to really be open to a completely different guitar, because it is a completely different feeling guitar. These have tons of options. Again, we're back in the mid-80s with a Floyd thing. They ended up doing the Wonder Bar stuff here in a little bit, which are some of the best whammies ever. But this is 24 frets, so I would never use it because it puts the neck pickup in the wrong place. And yes, there is something to that, no matter what anybody says. You know who you are. Sorry about that, Will. But of course, a pickup where it sits makes a huge difference. A quarter of an inch one way or the other. That pickup splits. All their humbuckers split back in the day. These are new. That is new. This is new. I'll show you the stuff that's newer. That, you know, this is, you know, new. That's older. Some of the new stuff is real garbage. Some of it's great, but pass by the stuff that I'll find eventually and show you. I'll show you what to stay away from. But the stuff that you really want is the Force 3. Any of the Force series, guitars or basses, are going to go through the roof soon, and you will not be able to afford it. So if you can find a Force series guitar or bass, collect it now, put it away for 5 years. It'll be triple value in 5 years. Okay, so the Force series. May the Force be with you, not the farce. The farce would be the Andertons people. Means they tell you a bunch of bullshit. Anyway, when you see these Wing series, there's going to be a bunch of them called the SB somethings and the SOBs and the Eagles and what have you. All great guitars. Nothing wrong with any of them. Yeah, you're actually going to find a place where the change in logo distinguishes between shitty guitars and stuff, and that is that logo. No bueno, except for one guitar. Nuno. All the rest, no, they haven't really done any good. Why? I don't know. They've done some well. I'll show that. That's why I'm here, to finish showing you these and to show you what are good and what suck. Okay. Those were fair, Nuno. There's a A20. Somebody put a different thing, but it's an A20V still. Both pickups split. Okay, there's a real version of the A20V because it will have a Strat style trem bar or whammy system. I'll just say whammy so I quit getting people bitching at me for saying tremolo or vibrato. Those are two different things. It's like, why did Fender put out the tremo verb and the vibro verb, and they were the same fucking thing? They're calling the tremolo, they're calling it vibrato on the vibroverb, and they're calling it tremolo on the tremoverb. So I know what vibrato is supposed to be, and I know what tremolo is supposed to be. Vibrato is supposed to be a shift in pitch, which is what a whammy bar actually is a vibrato. Tremolo is an effect where it's volume, swift volume drops and resurgences. But other people, including Fender and everybody else, don't know the difference. These were actually really nice. Washburn made a pop top, and they did a Lyle version. If you ever see Lyle, Paul Stanley did a stupid little thing at Target where he signed 11,000 guitars for $99 each. You could buy them. Some people trying to get 2,000-3,000 of them on eBay right now. Bullshit. Some people have them for $150. That's fine. It's a horrible guitar, but it's got Paul's autograph on it, which is not worth much. Here's the Disney stuff. This is no different than their Hannah Montana guitar. So everybody takes these pick guards around, has people sign them, and then they just slap them on any guitar that it'll fit. Never buy a guitar that has a autograph on a pick guard. Okay, ever. It's worth so much more if it's on the body and if it's real. So don't buy a guitar that has it done on the pick guard, no matter what it is. It don't matter if Jimi Hendrix came back to life and signed a pick guard, supposedly. Don't buy it if it's on the pick guard. Again, shitty logo, don't buy it. Only a couple with that new logo, other than the Nuno thing, that were of much use. Okay, the Idol series was crap. When it comes to Washburn, some of their acoustics are the best things ever. That's what I tell everybody to get, is a Washburn acoustic. If you're starting out, get them before you get anything. There's the great that I show on my other video when I talk about neck, great bolt-on neck things, and everybody's like, you ought to check out the Nuno. It's like, you ought to check out the video at the end of my fucking video, and it shows what all the good ones are. And I talk about how the heel on acoustic guitar should be on the inside. They're like, you're a fucking moron, it would never work. Look at the end of the video, it's on there. Many famous ones have been put on the inside. I would not do this to be a moron, because that's the last thing I am, folks. Okay, the Festival series Washburn acoustics, amazing. These were actually nice. Can't remember what they were, but so be it. If you see that gold top thing, it's actually pretty good. Here's the bass series of the Stage. You will not find these. Buy them if you find one, and call me. I'll buy it from you. And that will not be an A something, it'll be a B something. Okay, so like a B20 or a B10 or whatever it was. But very rare. Shitty Washburn. Shitty Washburn. You'll get to see the Maverick series. Shitty. These are great. Again, part of the Wing, W-I-N-G series. Okay, let me go on up. Okay, Maverick series, that blue thing. Shitty guitars. Here's some. Paul Stanley was with Washburn for about the last 10 years. Whole bunch of shitty guitars there, and then only one that was made worth a shit, and they made it in the USA at the Washburn USA factory, which Washburn doesn't have a USA factory. It's just like the Ibanez USA factory. There is no such thing, but they have ghost making things doing it. Hey, let's skip that doofus. Great axes here. It's easy to find out once you start looking at these which are which. Maverick series, shit. There's one that has 3 single coils. It's still shit, even though it's Maverick. These are good. Right here. The it's like a V something. I'll have to look it up, but these are very, very good. Monster guitars. Again, the Force series is the coolest thing. That and the Wing series. And they scroll right along, so I don't have to waste your entire day. I don't want to make all of these 2 hours long if something cool comes up. I mean, there were days when great axes were made by them. Those. Again, another Wing series. These are interesting. And they've made basses too, but that's some of their cooler acoustic electrics, but it's got these lines notched out for sound holes. Really helps with the feedback a lot. So those are very excellent. Even my Paul Stanley acoustic electric Washburn sounded every bit as good as my Martin. Every bit. Here's an A5 from the Stage series. Somebody put a pickguard on there. It didn't belong in there. The A5, the real ones, initially had the tele control panel and 2 single coils. You'll see some with 2 humbuckers. That means somebody has screwed with it. Okay, so watch out. So you had 2 single coils on the A5. So if it has a 5 in the digit, it's supposed to be single coils. And then the A15 had 3 single coils. Then if it has an even number, like an A10 or an A20, then they had 2 humbuckers in them. The only thing is the A20 had a nice flame top and had push poles, where the A10 did not. Okay? And the A20 had better looking binding on it. Here's the Maverick series. Okay, that's the S something 3. But anyway, it sounds okay, but they're really shitty, cheap guitars. So don't buy the Mavericks. Again, kind of that thing, but they took it too far on that particular version. 5-string. Really went shitty. As you can tell, it has knobs on the front. You don't want knobs on an acoustic electric, even if it looks cool, because the other type stuff will do you a lot better than these knobby things will. So just watch out for guitars that are made like that have knobs on the front. It's a good sign of a shitty guitar. Okay, here's a Force bass. It's on eBay right now, and I'm watching it. A lot of the other ones will be black with. They had Washburn did a lot with black with red binding, red fret markers, red everything on them. Here's the pop top. It's kind of a V, but it's. Hopefully I'll find another version before this all runs out. Now here's another different version of the Stage series. Right there, it's like BC Rich. It would have other tuners in the back. So you got a 12-string. 6 in the front, 6 in the back. How's that for cool? And they make a great yellow like that that just really pops. If anybody finds a yellow A15, 3 single coils, I'll take it from you if it's perfect. Again, the Force bass, one of many, but that will kick your ass more than most basses ever made. Here's one in red and black down here. I don't know if you can see the red outlines, but it's everywhere. Hopefully they'll have a better one for us. These really are great 335 copies. Washburn was very smart on them. Did a superb job. Let me look at something else. Another Nuno. There's another A20. Again with the regular Strat type whammy. Means it's proper. Here's another Wing. Again, these are the ones you want to get if you're getting it, and always the Nuno. Here you go, red and black. That's another A20, but typical red, black, red, black, red, black, red, black. So you got to know what you're looking for. Here's a SB4 probably, but great Wing Series bass if you like precisions, but you want something that looks a little more Gene Simmons-ish or just something different. Great basses. The Wing Series, even with the one sound, but what a sound it is. Okay, I want to keep going. See if I can find more worthy of your time. Again, another Maverick SB3, I think. And they made them here, 2 single coils and a humbucker. Threw a whammy on it. Didn't make it any better of a guitar. Some more 80s stuff that was okay. Again, Washburn is a huge acoustic thing that has been around as longer than Gibson. Here's a guitar version of these that work really well. Right there with that kind of sound hole. They do have a solid body Telecaster that will blow your mind too. That's an acoustic electric. Here's the V something. I wish I knew what it was right now. You guys, somebody will tell me. But that are great guitars. Not just slightly decent, but great. Those are great. So look for the V series, whatever that was. Okay. It's just not coming to my mind, and if it doesn't come to my mind, so be it. But I'm giving you as much as I can remember, and that's all I can do for you, right? Okay, I'm going to load up some more. There's another great Wing series. Again, all these Wing series will have an actual name. They're just not coming to me because they won't. Here's the Strat version too of the Tele that'll come up. It's actually just a solid body. Some of them were chambered, some were not. But these do have knobs on the front, but they do actually sound okay. It's best to use an outboard preamp, okay, to run it through something proper so it doesn't sound so piezo-ish, okay, which is the piezo pickup underneath the bridge. That's how it's pronounced. If you've been pronouncing it piezo or any other way, you've been wrong all these years. It's not, so it is piezo. That's the way it's pronounced. Here's somebody screwed up, or not actually, they just took a Washburn A5, supposed to be 2 single coils. You can see the Tele switch plate, and they put 2 humbuckers in it. So, and it's got the old style logo, so it is one that has been modified. Easy enough to tell. Another Wing series, but the cheap model. I can just tell. You can too, you'll get used to this. Cheap stuff. Now that looks sweet. Tele bass. Looks like the real deal when they had the one like precision pickup, the little bitty one pickup way up there. It's going to sound like gas, but anyway, here's a reissue. Yellow A10. Reissue, why? Because that logo's bigger than shit. So that's the reissue. And so I don't want one of those. But see how cool the color is if you're into bright colors. That's a Will Gelvin color right there, and I love that yellow. So if you find a A15, meaning 3 single coils, but again, the necks are extremely V-shaped, and you're either going to hate the holy hell out of them or get by with them, because they are very different than any other guitar ever made. Good guitar, shitty guitar, shitty guitar, good guitar. Slime, dime bag stuff, yeah, whatever you think of it. I don't think anything of it, but it's funny how Dimebag can put out so many new models every year when he's been dead for so long. There's a Force guitar, Force 3. That one's on eBay right now. Lots of money, but it's worth it. If you want the best Strat, probably the best Strat you can get, way better than the Anderson stuff or the Pensa or the Sir stuff, way better. Just easy enough to say because it's true. Better than anything you can damn near grab. The Force 3 is the best Strat money can pretty much buy. And you would never think that, but yes, it comes from Washburn, and that's a piece of shit right there. That's okay for the one sound, but yeah, the Force 3. If you find one, keep it, love it forever and ever and ever. Okay, here's the red and black version I told you of, there you go, Rudy Sarzo. That one don't sell nearly as much as the black and white one, but that's his signature bass, only one pickup. His big selling one had 2 pickups and would be the black and white one. Here's the Bantam series I was telling you about. You can barely see the body of the Steinberger type deal going on. So another great axe. Here's the Eagle guitars. Eagle series. And Washburn is actually doing a decent, they have their very own resonator pickups that somebody made that are going on to some of these resonator axes right now. They're very good. But it's not that one that you see that looks like a Tele one. It's more of a humbucker looking thing that looks like a EMG covered thing. So skip that little Telecaster looking one. That's an old model and it's not nearly as good as the new stuff. Great stuff here. You're looking at a Festival headstock from way back when. The Festival, the EA20 is the one to get from the Festival series of acoustic electrics. EA20. Nothing else. Okay, that's just the way that is. Yes, there have been others, copies out by Washburn themselves, but here's a great superior looking axe and a great axe period. Again, push pulls, everything about it. Wing series still great. White one, same deal. Lots of abalone everywhere. There's another version of the Force 3, greatest Strat you're going to find. Why don't I have one? I had one recently and I stupidly sold it, and it was beautiful, perfect, and in a blue burst. And man, my dumb ass got rid of it. A guy in Vegas really wanted it real bad for his girlfriend, so I said, okay, come get it. And I had just got it. I didn't even have time to do a review on it, and it was just honestly the most superb axe that you can lay your hands on. It's just phenomenal. Okay, see if anything else, nothing different than what we've been through. Those things they look cool, but it's just a piece of paper, photo flame. Here's the back of the Stage Series guitars, again the ones that say A something, but again you can't see the V on the back of the neck, but nice contours. Okay, Carlos Cavazzo from and Howard Lee's, so Carlos from Quiet Riot with Kevin DeBro, and again Sarzo and everybody. He played these almost exclusively, but he played the A20Vs with the whammy bars. Anything else worth having here? Nothing worth having except for another Nuno. Okay, go on down and find something else worth talking about, and then I'll get you out of here for the day. Alright, let class out early. Oh, there's the Tele. Okay, we can discuss that. It's one of the only shining moments right here. That one, again, if you want to use a good outboard preamp, it's the only time I would get those, but they do perk up very nicely and they look great. Great stage guitar. A lot of people used them. So the only acoustics I would use, I have knobs just because, yeah, they can all be made to sound decent with an external preamp for all these with tons of controls on it. So, but that's a cool retro guitar to have. Again, here's the Hannah Montana versions. So they have pictures of everybody on these things that you can buy everywhere. And there's the same guitar again with the writing on the pick guard makes it worth nothing. There's the guitar, not the bass version, but with the cool feedback suppression. Washburn always puts great preamps in their acoustics. I got a couple Washburns in there still. I've got the ouch, my poor body. The one with the B bender on it, amazing guitar. Wouldn't trade it. I love it. Anything else worth anything on this page? Nothing is worth anything on that page. Let's see. I'm hoping to get another. Here's a Paul Stanley acoustic electric by Washburn. That one didn't last long. But for anybody who wants one, I've never seen one live, so you might grab one. I never saw him play one, but it was made. Here's a Force 3. There you go, perfect example. And that's when they were super good. They're definitely a design of their own. It was not, this version, the best version, was not exactly Strat shaped. But that is the cream of the crop in Washburn electric guitars, as far as I am concerned. That's the one that appeals to me the most. That's the one I had in the Blue Burst. That is a flippin' amazing. What makes it so much better, Scott? It's just, it fits. It feels like a guitar. It sounds like a guitar. It sounds like quality. It's right. Everything's right about that guitar. That's all I can tell you right now, and that's all I want to tell you. But it is just, God, they made it right. Some things are just sick and wrong. I know you're like, just like you, Scott. But whatever. Gross. Nothing else on here. Gross. There's the other one with the 2 pickups and the black and white. I almost got that for 400 bucks. Those usually go for about 1,600 bucks, just to let you know. Again, Rudy Sarzo, that's the Pro USA made signature model. So that one went about a month ago for 400 bucks. eBay, of course. Fleabay. Let's see, this is a true A10 right there in the nice blue burst with the little logo. So that one's correct. Great guitars. An attempt at being okay, but it wasn't great. That one's great. Again, not a lot to show, but the ones that I am showing, please trust me on them, because they are great. Really are. And I'll show you the one other thing, and nothing else Washburn related, but just the last thing to get me out of here. That right there is a PV. That's a new one. That's an import. It's a SC3 or something like that. Quit buying all these Rondo guitars. Buy one of those. That will kick your ass. Go buy those things, man. They're amazing. Super flippin' amazing. You want a Les Paul shaped guitar? Sorry, kids. PV, or again, everything I've shown you so far being the Arias, the West Tones, the Electras. Great stuff. Anything else Washburn wise? No, nothing. So let's stick this on something while I say words. Let's stick it. I'm looking. You guys are like, oh no, I'm out of here. He's just going to say bye, and that is all I'm going to do, so you can get out of here if you want. But again, if you can find anything, I'll just put it here because it's pretty. From the Force series, Washburn Force, just put it on your save list on eBay. A lot of people don't know what they are because they don't say that on them. Or the Wing series, W-I-N-G, but then again they're actually called the Raven, the SB8, all kinds of weird things, so they may not say Wing on them because they don't say Wing anywhere on the guitars. But trust Washburn with all their acoustics, all their acoustic electrics. They are far ahead of most everybody ever. If you're buying your very first acoustic electric one, get the Washburn something 10, and it's electric acoustics. I talked somebody into it the other day. It's the one I tell everybody to get because it is clearly better guitar than any other beginner packages out there, and it's a pro guitar. I would play it any day of the week. And I've got a few Washburns in there. Oh, there it is again. Another. There you go. Beautiful, and that one's for sale right now on eBay. And that again is the Force 3. Of course, they make other Force models with humbuckers and everything for the rest of you, but the Force 3. May the Force be with you, kids. If you guys land a real one that has not been hacked at all and you want to sell it, write me. I'm never broke. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, Aria Pro, a little bit of Takamine, The Washburns of yesteryear, just a few, because some of them just aren't worth it. Some are fine, but if you're looking for the creme de la creme, I showed them to you. And then again, I told you of a lot of brands so far that I'll bring up later that absolutely suck and you should in no way buy, except for, I mean, there's things like National, that I used to buy all these National guitars for $5, $10, $15, and they're now worth a couple thousand, but they're still not worth a shit. So know that you can do your research and know that you can get money out of some of these, but as far as an actual guitar, they aren't worth jack ass shit. I haven't never heard of or played a National guitar that's been worth more than something to, you know, as a wheel chalk, something to keep your tires from rolling downhill in the driveway while you're changing the oil. They're really that horrible. But anyway, some people want them just because they have a hair up their butt for whatever reason, but collectors pay money. So learn your guitars. Learn your guitars. Don't just stick with one thing. Learn them all. There's so much wonderment to be had, so much enjoyment to be had. Yes, Washburn right there. Washburn goes back into the 1800s, folks. Again, as older than Gibson possibly. I think they are older than Gibson and Martin. So the Force stuff, the Wing series, the Bantam, Steinberger looking thing. Let me look through real quick. The Nuno Betancourts, the N4s. I stay away from all the others, just the N4s. The acoustics that have the knobs on the front, either the Telly or the Strat. Most people like the Telly. The A series or the Wing or the Stage series, which is, let me see if I can get things right on here, like that. But that's a bass, and that's fine. That's a B something. And there's the 10. That's very rare. So if you see that, get it. These 335 things, get those. Again, Force stuff. The Papa Top thing is just cool, but make sure you get that one and not the Lion, Washburn Lion. That's like the Epiphone to the Gibson, the Lion, Lyon. But again, Wing series, anything that looks like that is going to be superb. The Festival EA20, the original ones from back in the early 80s as far as acoustic electrics go. And again, that bass, if you can find it, it's going to be a B something. It's going to have the small logo on it again. Buy it. Stay away from Maverick series. Stay away from all other series. Stay away from crap that looks like this. And stay away from the Dead Guy stuff. Sorry just to call them the Dead Guy stuff, but hey. Get those. The 20s are worth more money than all the others. I like the 15 a lot better, but the 20s are worth more money if that's what you're into. Other than that, acoustic electrics, old ones, again, they were made all the way back till the way in the 1800s. Here's one I had, which was great. SB8. SB. It's the only one that has 3 knobs. One's a push-pull again, first single coils, maple fingerboard, superb axe. If you see my old video of me going through my old pictures when I was a kid, you'll see me playing that guitar, and I know inside out, big time, how great that guitar is. Never should have got rid of it. They have lots of guitars that look like this, with lots of graphics on them. Those are actually phenomenal. So I know 24 frets, but those of you who love 24 frets, get those. Again, here's one of the first ones I've seen without any graphics on it. Get those. Get those. Get those. Again, on these here, get that small logo. It's hard to even get peg winder in there to change strings on it. Keys are so close together. If you get these white ones here, all the abalone on it, Wing series again, that's a Raven. Get that. And if the pickups have been changed, don't ever get it. People are very particular about, they do not want even the solder joints to have been broken. That's the top of it. So people don't want, if it's been torn apart then put back together, they don't want it. They want it where nobody has ever taken a pickup out, nobody has ever taken a soldering iron to it and then put it back the way it originally was. you lose all your money right there. Everything has to be original, and they will inspect it. They will fingerprint it. They will do everything with it. They'll have sex with it. They'll do whatever they have to make sure nobody has stepped on the guitar at all. You know, just absolutely pristine, original, no solder breaks. That is huge these days, especially collectors, and that's what you're getting when you get into these right here. The Wing series, and like Les Pauls and everything else, the higher dollar guitars. These bring in a lot higher dollar than most Les Pauls will. If you can get that guitar, you're talking huge money. But then again, like I said, a lot of these others you can get for dang near nothing. So, hope you enjoyed that, kids, and I'll be back with a lot more after it takes me about a day and a half to render this, and then 4 days to upload it. Yes, that's what it takes. Everybody's like, it shouldn't take you that long. Well, trust me, it does. It's in 1080p, so again, if it shows up and somebody says, hey Scott, it's only in 3 something, it'll be there, just let it warm up. Or I could hide it from you for 4 days till it finally catches up with itself. So, hope you enjoy some of those. I'll be back with a whole lot more, because there's a whole lot of great guitars that you guys don't know about. But, hope you enjoyed those. You guys be groovy. Talk to you soon. Nighty night.